Oh yeah, I've taken a few ticks off me before, many times.
Yeah.
Some in some areas that I'm not too fond of.
I came in and had about 100 ticks on me that were attached. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. I think I walked through a nest.
Hi, Bram here from KFF Health News. A friend of mine who's big into hunting recently sent me an article about a potential new Lyme disease vaccine. He said it would be huge. And that got me wondering if other hunters felt the same way. So I came here to the Bush shooting range outside St. Louis to see if people were thinking differently about this vaccine as opposed to, say, the COVID one. And any interest in chatting?
Thank you.
All right, take care. Not today. How's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, we're journalists doing a story about Lyme disease and hunters and outdoorsmen. Any chance I could trouble you for 5 minutes to chat?
Sure. Yeah.
Amazing. It's a little loud out here. Do you mind stepping inside where it's quieter? We have a little place set up.
Sure.
So, do you or anyone you know have any experience with Lyme disease? Have you ever had it?
I might have had it.
Tell me more.
I never got properly diagnosed, but I do know the symptoms, like weakness, tiredness, fatigue, like muscle weakness in general, some swelling, headaches. I have had that following a tick bite. I don't know if that's what it was, because I asked the doctor at urgent care and they were like, I don't know, we don't test for that.
I think he waited too long. Because I can't remember, there's a telltale sign that it's
The bullseye rash.
And he had the clearest bullseye you'd ever know.
I know someone with Lyme disease, and it is a rough experience.
How so?
Took a long time to get diagnosed. I think Lyme disease has a lot of symptoms that are kind of weird and hard to narrow down for doctors.
We actually did have a tick in our neighborhood, which is residential, on somebody we knew. And what's interesting about that tick was, and it was no more than like a week after hearing about the Lyme disease vaccine, was bigger than the ones I've seen here before.
In many parts of the U.S., climate change is expanding the areas where ticks can survive. So more people are getting exposed to these little bloodsuckers that carry Lyme disease. And when I called up Stephen Rinella, author and host of the hunting show MeatEater, he said he wasn't surprised that so many people I spoke to were intimately familiar with Lyme disease.
I'm a turkey hunter. In talking about turkey hunting, you talk about ticks as much as you talk about turkeys. Just the nature of turkey hunting puts you into exposure. You're sitting for long periods of time trying to use vegetation for concealment. So you're doing just what you're not supposed to do. Like go sit and hold really still in the really tall grass for a few hours, right? Is not advisable, but that's what you're doing. Every year I I'll dig an embedded tick out.
Are you a hunter?
I am. Yep.
So there's a new vaccine for Lyme. It hasn't been approved yet, but it exists. Have you heard about that at all?
A little bit. Yep.
Not really. I'm not really in searching on too many new vaccines. Not a big fan of the COVID vaccine, so I couldn't say that I'm into searching for new ones.
The new 4-dose vaccine was developed by pharmaceutical companies Pfizer and Valneva. And technically, it failed one of the bars it set out for itself in its trials because not enough participants got Lyme. Still, the companies say it's about 75% effective in reducing cases, and they plan to submit it to regulators for approval. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was a noted anti-vaccine activist before he was appointed to head the agency that oversees vaccine approvals. And he's remade it in ways that have prompted some vaccine developers to pull back on development. But he's also been an advocate on Lyme disease, including embracing a theory that it might be a bioweapon engineered by the US government. And during his confirmation, he said his family had been deeply impacted by Lyme disease and that
there's nobody who will fight harder to find a vaccine or a treatment for Lyme disease than me.
if that vaccine did get approved, is that something you'd be interested in taking for yourself?
I'm pro, but skeptical, you know.
You'd have to see about it for you personally, do the research for yourself.
Yes, if I needed it type thing.
Yeah.
You know, again, I'm not one to put my hand in the cookie jar as far as telling people what they do and don't need. I don't like telling people, but if it's proven to help people and it can help people, to me, there's no reason why we shouldn't, utilize it.
Given my proclivity for the outdoors, absolutely. I go hiking at least twice a week. I work outside here, so it would probably be a good idea to have some kind of protection against it.
I would think about it. You know, I talked to my physician about it. Just full disclosure, I'm also a physician, so.
That'll do it.
So, let me toe the party line here.
Is there something specific about Lyme disease that would make you consider that more than a different shot, say COVID or some of the other shots that are out
It
there?
would probably make me potentially less likely just because I've been in the woods my entire life and I haven't gotten it. I mean, yes, I know somebody who did. So, but out of like hundreds of people I know that have been in the woods, I only know personally for sure of one of them. Mm-hmm. Now I know it was a bad outcome for him, but it's probably the percentage chance, at least my perception of it.
I would say I am vaccine hesitant, generally speaking. But Lyme, I've seen the way it affects people in my life, and I know that there's not a great treatment for it right now. So I would be more open to it. I would definitely have to really understand the vaccine, how it works.
Totally. Is that something that you would consider at all taking?
No.
Why is that?
No, I mean, I'm not, anti, but no. I kind of hand it off to God. In the body he gave me, I'm pretty durable.
I told Stephen Rinella about the wide variety of responses I got from hunters about possibly getting a Lyme vaccine. That didn't surprise him either. He thinks if you polled 100 hunters about their general vaccine views, you'd get the same results as polling any 100 random Americans of the same gender. He put his finger on something else, though.
There's a real collective national hangover about vaccines right now. I don't care where you sit with them, your general feeling about vaccines was influenced by the COVID pandemic.
There's a lot that goes into these decisions. People's sense of identity plays a big role. Hunters skew conservative, and Republicans are more likely to be vaccine hesitant. But a person's own experience and sense of risk are also important. Everyone who sat down with me at the shooting range thoughtfully engaged with all of that. And of course, this is all hypothetical right now, so for the time being, we'll all be trying to avoid ticks the old-fashioned way. Good luck with that, though. I pulled 3 off me when I got home. Thanks for watching. Follow us for more.